Yeah. Is it started? It's past 9 o'clock, dude.
It is January 29th, 2018, and this is Atlanta United FC Weekly, a Home Before Dark podcast.
Shit. I thought this was the Fortnite podcast.
This is awesome. I missed my hype man like the past 4 weeks.
All right, do it again.
FC Weekly, a Home Before Dark podcast. Okay. I'm just going to have to stop doing that. I'm going to have to find a new intro. I don't know. I am Tim Herb, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, Mr. Kevin Bradley to my right, and the game, and then Dan James to my right as well.
Good evening.
And then we got special guest, as we have teased the past week, Jimmy Vance, our buddy over 92.9 Game, also Stoppage Time Radio or Stoppage Time on Facebook Live.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, man, it's always good to see you. We met a couple going on right now.
Guilty.
Yep.
Dude, that's 2 weeks in a row now.
It's every week.
Jeez.
It's every week. Was it the Toronto game we met for the first time?
Yeah, Terminus Legions.
Yeah.
I believe you guys are doing the podcast there.
Do you love how much we love that you listen to our show? And that,
big fan.
In that you you have hyped us up a lot. And, we got a lot to look for or to live up to in that regard. So.
If he's listened to the show, he should know better.
I guess that's true too. So a couple housekeeping notes. We will be out on Sunday, Super Bowl Monday at 1 p.m. for the Terminus Legion poker tournament that is going to be benefiting hashtag mostly for the children.
Mostly for them children.
Mostly for them children. It's $25 buy-in. They have a few spots left open. If you guys are interested in playing, reach out, events@terminuslegion.com. Kevin, maybe Dan, it's going to be
maybe we're going to see
celebrity poker players over at.
We're going to be taking side bets on whether or not Dan shows up. Bets on if it's on time.
And if I do, it's my money in your pocket.
Anyway, we're going to be participating as we did last year as a celebrity player. So we're going to be playing with a bounty on our heads. If you guys knock us out, we give you guys double trips. The sweetest offer.
Yeah, just aim for Tim. He was to blame last time. So
yeah, that's for sure. I guess I shouldn't have been broadcasting. I should have been playing instead.
Yeah.
Hey, we just found out. We just found out before the show. Jimmy Vance will also be playing out there. Poker player.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in college, I mean, World Series of Poker blew up, so we're doing it all the time at fraternity house and stuff. But lately, I'm looking forward to it. Firsthand is
that's what I do. Come at me now.
Yeah,
it's the way to assert your dominance. Just like
I'm all about that.
Just like peeing all over the table.
Yeah,
like, just lift your leg.
Yep.
Just let it go. So, Jimmy, wanted to kind of peel it back and.
Well, we can't jump into the show. We got a review this week.
Oh yeah, I guess housekeeping notes. Right, I say that.
You jump from housekeeping into the show.
Yeah, I'm just excited.
You gotta clean the whole house, Tim.
Yeah.
Not just the spots that you want to, and then just throw everything else into the closet.
You've got to lift the rim of the toilet seat.
Seriously,
all you guys that are blowing up the live chat on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Make sure that you hit the bell icon so you guys know whenever we go live. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe and do the same thing. We are time now. Monday nights, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Have fun.
If not, it'll be on iTunes and every other podcatcher tomorrow.
Just applied for Spotify today.
Whoop, whoop.
They're very selective, and in looking at Spotify's podcast selection, it doesn't look like they're in.
So we will not be on Spotify.
We'll see. We're trying. I know a couple of you guys have reached out about us on Spotify. We are on iTunes and Podcast Addict and Pocket Cast and Google Play Music and TuneIn Radio and Stitcher.
I feel like Spotify will be our big break, though.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the one. It's just gonna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're huge in India.
You mean it's gonna be our next big break because we
keep
breaking down walls.
Yeah.
Once
we get on Spotify, you guys are gonna start hearing stamps.com.
Yeah.
Or Fleshlight. We'll start off like Joe Rogan.
Fleshlight, yeah.
Anyway, so we do have a
I'm
review.
wearing my MeUndies right now, speaking of which. It's got micro modal. It's a moisture wicking thing.
It's 3 times.
Yeah.
But if you guys are I don't know why I look into the camera whenever I say this, just because I like talking to you guys. But if you guys are listening to us on iTunes, make sure that you guys leave a review or a rating. We will read it no matter what it says on the show. We have one.
Speaking of reviews, 9 hours ago, Five Stripe Sheriff.
We got 2. We didn't do that one yet.
Oh, I'm going to read the long one.
Well, read both of them.
Okay. Strife, great podcast, 5 stars.
Right on.
Man. All right, 9 hours ago, Five Stripe Sheriff, fantastic podcast, 5 stars again. And United since they were first announced coming to the MLS, and haven't really found a podcast I liked until I listened to you guys recently. Y'all are just as entertaining as you are informative. With my favorite EPL club, Arsenal.
I love EPL.
Arsenal.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
So I'm trying to get through this. You guys have made this ATL off season seem to go by a little bit. Thank you, Five Stripe Sheriff.
Thanks, guys. If you want to hear your review read on the show, be sure to throw it up on iTunes and leave us any number of stars.
In the live chat, Matthew Weineck, I was cleaning out my closet the other day and found my Malawi national team that my brother-in-law traded for a pair of sneakers in Malawi, and I appreciate him for it.
Seriously. Yeah. You could probably, I bet Austin that kit off of you.
I think this
the kit junkie
is less breathable than actual plastic bags. Warm.
So yeah, Jimmy, you
just quick pivot. Just get off of this. Yeah. Let's just go, Jimmy.
I know none of you are interested in my story.
No,
except for me and Matthew. Don't worry.
I do love that it still has a permanent crease. How long has it been sitting in the closet folded?
Seriously, look at this thing.
This is kind of like those old Liverpool kits.
Speaking of
early '90s.
Speaking of weird seams, did you guys see the new kits that got the all red Atlanta United kits that they put out in the MLS store this past week?
The training kits.
Ones? Yeah. Weird seams, like it just seems like weird different color blockouts that's just a slightly off red color. It was driving me. It's everything up here was all one color, and then from hips down was a different color red. I don't know why.
You saw that in the store?
Yeah. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, probably is.
I'm gonna find it.
So Jimmy was nice enough yet again to drop off some swag from 92.9 The Game. We got the sweet koozies. Kevin's rocking the new T-shirt. So, game how long now?
It'll be 2 years in July.
Handedly responsible for pumping up Atlanta United.
No, I'm not single-handedly. No, guiding the ship to where to go. No, it's been a blast. I mean, through being in sports, my life started with the Falcons and just worked my way up and got a job with 92.9 and promotions. And then during the season, wanted to do more with United, and my boss let me run with it. And it's been a blast. And following the team, I mean, it's a dream. Just go see the game, work at the games, but you watch Atlanta United play.
Dream.
Yeah, that's awesome. So talked about this off camera a good bit, but I don't know, you guys seem to have you guys jumped on the wagon pretty early to say other competitive radio stations in the area. Mm-hmm. I mean, what do you attribute to that? Or
well, there's a couple things. I think our programming director, Terry Fox, he identified really quickly how big this is going to be, and he's been in talks with Darren Eales for a long time. And I think just way that Darren and a lot of people around here have described like what it was going to be, thinking that basically I love it talking about this is truly Atlanta's team. I've been working at Falcons games since the mid 2000s. Like when we go into that stadium, if we're playing Dallas or playing Pittsburgh, teams 30,000.
Right.
It's this city has so many people from generation after generation grew up going to the East, but you moved to Atlanta, so we still support the Eagles. You're not going to become like a big Falcons fan. Plus being only 20 years old, where everybody's living in Atlanta, like I mean, you can be like from Europe and follow your European team, but if you're living in Atlanta, you have a team now, and it's truly Atlanta's team, which is awesome and exciting. And they identified that when it got the deal done, and it's just gone from there. And we just knew that with Arthur Blank, I mean, he's not going to cheapen anything when he invests in something. Right. I mean, we knew that going in, that he's going to invest in, like how he's invested in the Falcons. So, I mean, we jumped on it, and it's been a great opportunity. And it's just the support. It's been unbelievable. I mean, I don't know, anybody could imagine. Like, I knew soccer was huge growing up. I grew up in Athens and been in Atlanta for a while, but I mean, just breaking records last year was unbelievable.
I don't think anyone could have really understood the success that was going to happen.
I mean, 71,000 at a match to break the MLS record.
What's been crazy is to watch everybody scramble and jump on board now, leading up to this like second season, essentially.
Yeah.
It seems like there was a big spike going into the first season, and we were part of that too, but then it's like this next wave that you see coming on the horizon, and even different radio stations that all last season played off Atlanta United, and then all of a sudden now they're like trying to drop in little lines here or there,
Right. Yeah, and 92 have been the ones who have really pushed it forward. They're the only ones I've seen who have been any sort of coverage on the radio. I haven't been listening to radio that much. Podcasts kind of taken my life, but the other one, I don't hear crickets from them. In fact, all I have seen from them is tweets saying how stupid soccer is. So
yeah, it's usually a way to endear yourself to a fan base. I mean, it's definitely. I
mean, that's cool. They've got the Braves. Good luck with that.
They got that new mascot now.
But like 929 have got the Falcons, Atlanta United, the Hawks. Well, but they're the official radio station for Alabama football.
That's good.
I'm just saying, comparatively.
I mean, if you're going to pick a team, at least pick a winning team, right?
Right, a winning team. That's right.
Which is a surprise that anybody would be in Atlanta.
Hey.
The radio station.
All right, we have a lot to get to. We have a lot going on in the live chat, which we've kind of completely disregarded.
It's getting too hard to deal with this. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
So, apologies. Apparently, you guys were having issues in the live chat. I cut Kevin's streaming of the show on here.
Oh, how dare you?
Because you're taking up bandwidth at the house.
Oh,
and people are having chop. Yeah, it's anyway. I've killed
some better internet, bro.
It seems like everybody's doing a little better. I mean, net neutrality, man. You can only get what you can get out here. So one of the main things that's coming up in the live chat is one of the things we want to talk about the most tonight, and that would be the departure of arguably our linchpin in midfield / defense. Well, for the defense last year, and Carlos Carmona, he's gone. I mean, last week we talked whenever we had Jason Longshore on, and
you're messing up bandwidth, bro.
Bocanegra had kind of come out and said he's on our team. We were fantastic. We were happy. Moving forward, he's going to anchor the midfield. Him and Nagby are going to be amazing together in the midfield. And then a couple days later, he's transferred to Colo-Colo for $1.5 million. It's like $750 in GAM and then $450 in TAM.
But
or
then
something
we hear
like
everything about his family and all that.
It's true.
I mean, it wasn't just strictly moving just for money.
No, it definitely wasn't moving for money. It's a lifestyle thing. And at that point, I don't take anything away from him. It doesn't sound like he wanted to be here, I think. Right. But it's hard for him to not want to be back home in Chile.
Yeah.
His wife is pregnant. She can't travel.
No.
Season's about to get started. It's going to be kind of rigorous for them. It's going to be hard for her to get back, or hard for him to get back and then come back. And that's just going to be too much of a strain. We have the personnel kind of to stem the tide right now. Mm-hmm. I fielded that question on Twitter, and I have a couple answers to it. Just how do you guys see him being replaced right now? But
at least to get through this season. I don't think that we have a long-term strategy. And if somebody gets injured, I think that we may have some answers to come up with. But I think we have a short-term solution. I mean, we have personnel groupings that can fill that void, essentially. Maybe not in that same way, but between Nagby and Lorenowitz, they can easily figure that out,
Yeah, we've got a stop-up strategy that we can put. Like if the season started today, we've got something that we can put together. However, I think we'll bring someone in.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's hard to think that with the amount of, unless we were really just covering for the amount of money that we spent on Nagby, that we would get all that allocation money back and we wouldn't do something with it. Whether that's, I mean, we're going to have to pay down either Joseph Martinez or Tito Villalba's contract, right? To bring in Barco on a designated player contract. That's still to be decided.
I think the thought would be that Villalba's would be the easier one to pay down, right? Over the two.
No, I want to say Joseph Martinez makes less. If I'm not mistaken, he makes less than Tito Villalba, but I'm not positive on that. Either way, one of those two, right? You're right. One of the two, whoever it is that makes less money, is going to have to be paid, or is going to have to be paid down.
That would be my gut reaction. Would be Martinez is harder to pay down than Tito.
Yeah.
So I feel like everyone's been talking about, oh well, they just pay down Tito.
Yeah.
So,
well,
either way, you're right. One of the two have to be paid down.
Either way, yeah, we have to do. I figure we will do something with that money, whether that's replacing that position, reinforcing the defense, doing something in that regard. I don't think that we're done. But at the same time, if we are done, if we were unable to find, because I don't think we're just going to go out and get anybody. I don't think we're going to go out and find a Joe Schmo, somebody to pop in there. I think that if nobody comes, if we're not able to find the guy that we want.
Well, we also picked up Oliver Shannon. I'm just saying, guys.
There's Oliver Shannon, and then you also have Chris Goslin. And if your worst case, to me, if your worst case scenario is a potential U.S. men's national team player at 17 years old coming in and getting minutes, replacing Lorenowitz or replacing Nagby after 60, 70 minutes of the game.
For a stopgap when we play
exactly.
when we play a bad team.
Right. I think that if that's your worst case scenario, I think we're in a pretty good position.
Yeah, I worry about putting a 17-year-old in there because I think there's been rumors circulating around on Twitter from one guy from Tottenham's youth academy who's also 17, supposed to be really good, but I don't want to put an inexperienced player in that situation unless it's for just like a stopgap game.
Yeah. I think Lorenowitz makes the most sense to that point.
Yeah,
you know?
But we just got to see. I mean, guys can lose it overnight. Roddy White went from awesome receiver to very below average in a season. Yeah. So I'm a very conservative person anyway, so I got to put something together. I can't trust Lorenowitz for the whole season.
Hey, you're gonna miss that midfield destroyer that Carmona was.
Yeah.
I mean,
but like Jeff has got to take that mantle now.
Yeah. And then, hit his age and then with the games, he's going to need a break. And,
yeah, exactly.
And also he's going to be center back depth too for the team because we don't have depth there either. So it's going to be interesting. But I'm going to miss Carmona. I missed that midfield pairing last year. As the season went on, Carmona was one of our most important players.
No, I think it's without question.
Well, we also still have Kevin Kratz too. I mean, we have midfield players that can fit in there.
So what happens then? Do you push Kratz up further and pull Nagby back to a true central defensive midfield role?
No.
If you're going to be playing Kratz, he works better in an attacking role than he does in playing a typical number 8 or a typical number 6.
So to that point, doesn't McCann make more sense to be more defensive?
And that's one of the comments in the chat.
Good God, damn.
It's one of the comments in the chat. We're having issues here.
No, we are not. Dan is.
From
just ignore the bottle of bourbon on the table.
Yeah. So we Patrick Keenum in the chat says if we're just throwing a warm body in there, McCann can go in and crack some heads at central defensive midfield.
Yeah.
And he proved last year. I mean, he has a more conservative enough play style to fit in there, and he's good enough on defense, I think, to fit into that role.
Especially whenever we saw him on the wing filling in for Garza towards the end of the last year.
Yeah, but he's a good veteran. I mean, that defensive mid spot is his most comfortable position that he's been playing before he came to ATL. So he's a good guy to throw in there.
So that picks us up. We're available to pick up 2 more spots. Is that right? Because as of last week, Bocanegro was saying that we're still looking to potentially pick up 1, and now that Carmona's gone, I'm assuming that opens us up for 2 potential new signings.
2 signings, yeah, potentially. It's got to be defense that we're signing on. Surely.
I agree. So to stick with the Carlos Carmona discussion, we feel, like I said, I fielded a question on Twitter earlier. We had a couple responses. we had at Thought Marker says Nagby is the Carmona replacement. We need a replacement / backup for Larry, which is a good enough point. He said Gosselin, Gosselin is who we have now in terms of replacing.
But just hearing the way that the way Tata talks about
the youth players,
Gosselin doesn't seem like he wants him. That he doesn't feel confident that he's ready to play at that level yet. I mean, without any hesitation. Before the Carmona stuff, he was saying no, he's going to be playing at Atlanta United too, essentially exclusively. So there was not even, at least with Carlton, there was some discussion of, he'll probably get some play time, and we hope to rotate him out some. Yeah. But Gosselin, it was just like a complete throwaway from his response. I mean, legitimately, he was just like, no, he's just going to be playing there, basically.
Yeah. He said not too many MLS options, maybe Okugo. Or Akugo? I'm not sure who that is. I honestly am not following.
You are talking about Gabenga.
That came with the Nagby signing, right?
Sorry, I forget his name. Arakayu. Oh my god.
All right, we're gonna just skip that.
Arokoyo.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, and we have
watch the mic.
I hesitate about stating that Nagby is Carmona's replacement. I think he is in some facets, but Nagby is not as aggressive. He's not the destroyer that Carmona was. I think Jeff could probably, or maybe McCann, make up for more of that aggressiveness, but I feel like Nagby is a lot more finesse than Carmona is.
Mm-hmm. No, I could probably agree with that. And then we also have Robert Adams at RFA 3 saying, I think so, in terms of what I asked was whether or not we have a replacement, and you think we're going to replace Carmona. He said he thinks that Eels had a backup plan all along. So,
heck yeah, Darren Eels has got freaking plans A, B, C, D, E, and F.
Pull the sheath down from your.
You want me to pull a sheath down?
Yeah. Roll it down to the base.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
You got it, Dan.
I need Eels back on Twitter. I need some cryptic tweets. I need something to get me going again.
Yeah, and we did have some discussion in here about our boy Jay LaFleur at 285 Racer, who's back with us watching for the first time in forever. About time. He says it seems Gressel may move to that spot.
I think potentially if we don't bring anyone else in, he could be a guy you could throw in and rotate through at that point. I feel like Gressel is going to be rotation for a number of positions.
Agreed.
Particularly Tito when he needs a break.
Mm-hmm. Tito, Almiron. I mean,
he
played both of those positions last year.
Yeah, fuck it, stick him in goal.
I like it.
Dan, one more thing. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Just can you tilt it back a little bit? Get the mic face in front of your mouth. Yeah.
Put it inside of you.
The pickups from the front. Yeah, not the top. There you go.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Thanks, Tim.
There we go. We have some more.
Sorry for fucking up this podcast.
How do you make him sound different?
Yeah, I don't know. You would think after being in the country so long, he would drop that terrible accent.
What do you have to do with the mic to make you sound better?
We got CK Lopez. CK Lopez in the chat from Terminus Legion, who's going to be helping host the poker tournament, organizing that, saying, could this be possibly a way for Gressel to find his way onto the starting 11? Not saying it's preferable for either side, but when you want to play ... It's true. I mean, Gressel to me as a guy, I think fits in wherever he can play.
He's got that same sort of, I don't know, I always compare it with Barco only because they both wanted to take those 2 penalties in high pressure situations and were the first guys to that's mine, I'll do it. So I feel like he's got that drive to really push himself and to elbow into the first team at some position. And he's probably going to say, hey, he's like Croy Beerman. I'll do whatever, man.
Yeah. Jay Riddle says not unless his defensive play improves. Yeah. It's I
mean, that's what the off season's for, and
it's true. Jay Riddle reporting from the dog park. He does say that the banner position's fixed. That's correct. The Orlando Ain't the South banner is up there. Brittany Arnold signed 2 poll that Jay got called plastic over and over again by Orlando City fans is hanging up nicely in the studio for your view. You guys don't have to look at that darkest hour the flag so much anymore.
I love that plastic mantle. I'm all about Tyrion Lannister. It's my armor. You can call me plastic. Fuck you. We're gonna beat you.
All right. So it might sound stupid. because I'm stupid. But never mind. It was stupid. Forget it.
What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
Yeah, what were you gonna say?
Just ignore me.
You
entirely.
were looking at Jacob Peterson. What were you gonna talk about?
Nothing.
We're gonna see if he can play back.
No. Well, I was wondering if you shifted him in, if somebody could maybe shift back, but it doesn't make sense to move any of the forwards back that we already have in there. So
you want to do a what is it? Who was it? Sapong or Jossie Zardes, who got started at right back
for
LA Galaxy? So it wouldn't be Sapong.
No, it wouldn't be Sapong. I think you're thinking of last night whenever they played together up front for the U.S. men's national team. No, it would have been Zardes. That's not preferable at all. Speaking of Orlando.
Thank you, William. William McCaney corrected me in the chat.
Orlando has made some moves, and that was the other question that I fielded on Twitter, whether or not...
Before we move on to Orlando, do we want to talk about
Oliver Shannon? Yeah.
Talk about what?
Walks going.
Well, that was next on my list, but...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to ask you, we'll get to Anton Walks in a minute. Is there off-season movement? Is that a statement of intent, or do you guys feel any more of a threat from that? Legitimately speaking,
from Orlando?
Yeah, from Orlando being a more legitimate threat coming into the East next year, because you have the likes of, well, first of all, they just picked up Miram from Columbus, who was arguably...
I refuse to feel threatened by Orlando.
Justin Miram was arguably their best player last year. Granted, he went missing in the playoff game against us. It really didn't matter, as history will tell you. They also... Columbus picked up Jossie Zardes for... who was it? Ola Kamara. So they traded they traded away their two best attackers.
Yeah.
And what do they have to show for it? They have Jossie Zardes, who's arguably one of the most overrated players at this point. He gets enough shtick that it's expected that he's not going to score goals.
I think he just needs a change of scenery.
Maybe so, and that's something that Jason talked about last week. Yeah. But at that point, that's potentially Columbus dipping out of the playoff race, or either that, or Orlando's becoming more competitive. So they lose Kyle Larin, this funny, crazy legal soccer to watch.
Turkey now?
Yeah, he went to go play for Besiktas. He's going to be playing in Champions League in about a week or two. It's 2 weeks. It's Valentine's week, the 13th and 14th, or 14th and 15th. Anyway, so yeah, he's going to be playing on the biggest stage. Well, he's probably going to be riding the bench to start with. But you bring in Dom Dwyer last year. Doesn't really fit with Kyle Larin.
Nope.
Doesn't really seem to fit with what they're doing.
Kaká doesn't really do much for him either last year.
No, he doesn't.
A couple moments of brilliance, but
he's hurt a lot. And then you have Carlos Rivas, who is up and down player. So you bring in some really stable guys into this team this year. And you pick up Question and you pick up Justin Miram. You have Dom Dwyer.
But does it call into question their coaching? I mean,
it really does. I think last year in the past,
they had all the talent in the world last year and didn't produce anything.
Exactly. I think Jason Kreis is going to be the X factor here. It's amazing to me, and I love it. The fact that I think he's an incompetent coach, and they keep bringing him back year after year, and it's very indicative of the response that you see on Twitter from Orlando City's fans is indicative of his performance and his competence at the helm of that team. I don't know what he's doing. I don't think he knows what he's doing. And it's amazing because there are rivals. No matter what anybody says, we're rivals with them, whether that was at the beginning of the last season or at the end. I mean, if we had some pretty bad blood throughout 3 games.
Yeah, we did.
Does the Miami confirmation this week or today by MLS change that? Rivalry status.
Rivalry status?
I was questioning, like, if it wasn't for Atlanta United coming into the league, would they be as ambitious as they are being with their transfers right now? Or, I mean, they haven't made the playoffs ever. So do you think that is more of a motivator for Orlando?
I think they saw Nagby and Barco coming here, and they're like, we need to make some moves here.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is interesting that in its second year, Atlanta United is sort of starting to set the standard for an entire conference.
Lifts all boats, right?
What's that?
Rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, exactly.
You're welcome, Orlando. Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, seriously though, and that was the first thought I had whenever I see the Justin Miram signing, and then you see there's so much transfer movement going on in MLS. Granted, we didn't follow it before last year, so we don't know exactly what is standard activity between teams during the offseason, but it seems like high-profile players are moving, and they're shaking, and they're not just going overseas. You have a couple guys going overseas between Bill Meade and you have Kyle Larry and a couple other guys have gone overseas. But for the most part, it's teams trading and being more ambitious, using TAM and GAM to go and grab the guys from other teams. I mean, we went and grabbed, we were already one of the best teams in the league, and we go and grab one of the best players, probably the second best player from one of the best teams in the league.
I hope it works out for us.
Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah. But at the same time,
I'm really confident, but there's always a part of me that's gets humbled every now and then.
Well, that was my whole point about Barco, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at least with Nagby, you have something to kind of go off of. Experience within the league.
Mm-hmm.
He's got something, because that's one of the biggest hurdles that we've seen a lot of players that come into the MLS is how they transition into the way MLS work. I mean, you saw that with Schweinsteiger last year, where he was talking after his first game.
Gerrard,
it just takes some transition, much less whenever you're 18 years old and trying to transition into the league. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so. Yeah. Well, let's stick with the MLS moving and shaking. We'll get back to Anton Walks afterwards, because one team that doesn't seem to get it in terms of getting younger, getting more prolific or more dynamic is LA Galaxy.
Yeah. They've been on the backslide for a while.
But I will say, if there's one man who over the past 5 years since he's turned 30, has not shown to me any signs of slowing down or skill degradation or anything like that, is Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and he is on the radar for LA Galaxy.
I am pegging LA Galaxy to win the MLS Cup based on Ibrahimovic's ego alone. I think he can will this team.
I honestly, he's one of my favorite players of all time. As much as I hate the fact he went and played at Man U, I think that
he was all right.
He's one of the few guys that I don't know. One of the few guys I really liked his arrogance and his cockiness, because he did more than live up to what he put out there. You're talking about a guy who won, I think, it's something like 8 or 9 straight years won a title in Europe.
Yeah,
between Juve, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Barcelona, I think Ajax before that, and then going to PSG. And then, did he win with Man U? No. Did Man U win a title with Louis van Gaal? They didn't, did they?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, they won the Europa League and the League Cup.
They're in the Europa League. But anyway, I think
2 trophies.
What's very so Matthew Waneker makes a good distinction in the comments, saying that the injuries have maybe caught up to him, but I guess we haven't really seen him a whole lot. I mean, he had a bad injury. I think it was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it was late in the Europa League. I saw it. Well, it was that knee. He landed on a hyperextension. He's 36, going to be 37 October, I think. It's
rough.
Is it? I mean, we'll see how it goes if he comes here. I mean,
it's true.
But I just love how, like I said on stoppage time, I love how Atlanta United's gone. We're not going European older player. We're going young South Americans. Just what Jason's Longshore said on stoppage time a couple weeks ago is like the greatest signing we ever had was Tata Martino. I mean, without Tata, we wouldn't have Almiron or Barco and any of these guys, but just the connections down there. I mean, it feels like MLS has been waiting for this for a long time to have somebody tap into that. I mean, we're not the first club to do it, but young and up and coming players like this, it's a game changer for the MLS, going forward.
Absolutely. That's why I think this Zlatan thing is like they're grasping for relevancy. And they're just trying to do anything that they can to
jersey sales. I mean, just selling jerseys.
But I mean, you're going to sell jerseys, but then you got to win. Otherwise, you just fade out.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. So you do see that though. I mean, but they're one of the few teams now that's really sticking to that model, where they're going out and trying to find these marquee signings. But like Dan said, it's jersey sales most likely. I still think Zlatan is going to light up the league if he comes over here. I think he still has a few years left in him. The man's like 6'4", still fast, kind of has unbelievable skill on the ball, can head the ball, anything like that. He's just was a once in a lifetime player. I would like to see him on this stage, but you have teams that are following our model now. I mean, between NYCFC going out and signing young South Americans. Yep. You have we have somebody in the chat, new name, John Pata, saying DC United picked up Junior Moreno. I'm not sure who that is, saying supposedly a pretty good signing from Venezuela. I mean, it's another team that has really turned it around this offseason, I feel. Who all have they? I mean, they got David. No, that was Philly. That got David Accam. Who's DC gone after this year?
I don't know, Tim. But they're really good.
Is it going to matter?
Yeah, exactly.
Orlando City got a guy from Paraguay, right?
Yeah, Carmona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's the model now. It is, yeah. And there's a pipeline coming up. So it brings up another interesting discussion maybe later on where we're talking about whether or not we need to stick to more homegrown players. It's kind of the same discussion that they had in England after a while, after the infusion of international talent coming in, where we're not cultivating any English talent. I mean, we're going to get to the point where we're probably not cultivating any American talent, but it seems like the model right now is go and play in Germany, go play in Belgium, don't play in the MLS.
But then does that come back to the requirements for homegrown players? Because once you've got your green card, you're technically a homegrown player at that point, right? Don't you meet the requirements in the league? Or
no, you're not a homegrown player. You just don't take an international spot.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought we talked about that last year, and that got me kind of confused.
That's okay.
Tito getting that green card.
Yeah, it's huge. And whoever's next, like what? I mean, there have to be a couple more in line to get those green cards.
Our lawyers are unbelievable. I don't know what. I think it's. I joked it's Better Call Saul or something. They got. I mean,
so they were talking about LGP working on his, and apparently they've been working on his for like a year. So they must have just, as soon as they got him in, they're like, all right, who's even interested in getting a green card? You. Okay, we're going to put the paperwork in right now, and we can just burn like $2 to $3 grand, however much as it costs, and just see what happens. And then, if they don't work out, no big deal. If they do, then great, we can get them off the international roster.
So I think LGP. I think I heard they're working on a green card for him too. So
yeah. So yeah, I mean,
so is there anybody else that you can think? I mean, when's the trade deadline?
Well, we don't follow the same signing structure or transfer window that everybody else does. So I'm not positive. So maybe so.
I think it's March 1st.
Where the primary transfer window closes for us, and then
there's another one that opens.
Yeah, July it opens back up, I think.
But to that point, is there anybody on our roster right now that we are concerned may slip before the season begins? At this point,
I thought we were good, and then Carmona were left. So I feel to me it could be anybody.
At least with Carmona, I felt like there were some rumblings a couple weeks leading up to it. It wasn't completely blindsided.
Well,
I mean, it was so much so that Bocanegra made a statement about it saying, no, we anticipate him playing this season. I haven't heard them make any statements or call into question. I mean, Almiron was the biggest one coming into the offseason of whether or not we were going to hold on to him. And I haven't heard anything about him training or potentially jumping ship. I mean, is there anybody that you can think of that we've heard anything about?
No, I don't think so. I think everybody seems pretty secure at this point. I don't know.
Say that.
We'll see.
Based on reputation alone, I'm sure Oliver Shannon could go at any minute.
He has a toffee. So we have Matthew Waneker is correcting us, saying February to March is our primary transfer window. So I don't understand all this. Then I guess we can go after international talent during their transfer window, and then.
Well, did you hear the rumor a while ago about Tito being looked at by Wolves?
Yes.
Luckily, he's a smart lad and wouldn't want to go there.
Yeah. Be the third biggest club in Birmingham. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, no.
Well, it says it was West Brom. So
is West Brom considered Birmingham?
I mean, the Midlands.
Yeah.
It's like them. We'll take Leicester because they won the Premier League. Nottingham Forest, Derby County.
We'll take Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where do we go from here? Do we talk? Do we talk Anton Walks? Or do you want to talk? Is there anything else you wanted to cover before we get to this?
No, I'm ready to talk Pineapple Head.
Pineapple Head. He's not Pineapple Head anymore. Do you see the picture?
Oh, he's not.
He's all grown up now.
He's got like a buzz head, a buzz cut.
I'm so hurt, man. This is why I don't buy jerseys with names on the back. Is for that exactly because
I bought Assad's.
Because Walks would have been a top 1 or 2 pick for me to buy an actual name jersey last year, and then it's just like, nah, fuck you.
So what do you think? So we're talking about the news today that Tottenham have loaned out Anton Walks for the rest of the season over to third division, League One side, which is confusing as hell, but
Portsmouth,
League One side,
Pompey.
Portsmouth, Pompey, who almost got dissolved after they went into administration back in 2010, 2011. Were in the Premier League and then just
I think they did a Birmingham. Sorry, they won like a League Cup and then got relegated. I think they actually
won the FA
Cup and
FA
got
Cup.
relegated.
Beat Manchester United. I remember that.
Yeah. What? They're in League One of the FA or whatever, the EFL. What does that say?
I thought it was so strange because I don't think that MLS equates to League One, which some people are. I think MLS is far better than League One.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying is that so we just jinxed it. We got Joe Patrick from 92 or from Dirty South Soccer in the chat saying there's breaking news. We're breaking news on this show for the first time ever. Jacob Peterson.
Oh,
Jacob Peterson.
JP.
See, I knew I was bringing him up for a reason. You're welcome, guys.
Jacob Peterson has been waived. It makes sense.
Jorah
if you think about, Jorah Mormont, right? Did I say it right? I don't watch Game of Thrones. So
maybe he didn't cure his grayscale after all.
Yeah, exactly. But he did come back and score that goal.
Yeah, he was an RGB, right? Or was he CMYK?
This colored hair.
Because he cured his grayscale.
Oh, great.
Oh, that was good, Tim. I mean, you had to explain to me, but
we're here with you now.
Shout to Joe Patrick, who's going to be on the show with us next Monday. Just to let you guys know, we
got a lot of guests, guys. It's almost like we're doing tryouts, but
breaking news in the live chat. Yeah, Jacob Peterson, forward for Atlanta United, has been waived. And it makes sense, though, whenever you think about the forward depth that we have right now. We don't necessarily need him on the books. What does that mean if we clear out some of that salary?
Got forwards coming out of taps.
Yeah. Because he wasn't going to get into the team ahead of Vasquez. I don't think at this point. I don't think he's going to get in the team ahead of Romario Williams.
Sorry. You're good.
And I think that Gressel's a better version of Jacob Peterson at this point. So anyway,
I agree.
Thank you, Joe, for the shout out on that. So back to the League One championship. I think that MLS, if anything, they are
better than League One, or at least on par.
MLS is definitely better than League One.
I think,
if not on par with
LA Galaxy are probably League One, but I think most of the league is far better than League. I thought it was really weird because I feel like a club like in Birmingham could have done with a player like Anton in their team. It's just it's bizarre. I can't remember where Portsmouth are in the league right now. I think they're up there, or they're middling. So I don't think they actually have much to fight for. So but to be fair, I didn't think Anton would be coming back purely because if you're Tottenham and you're trying to see what you've got, you've seen him in that one situation in Atlanta United, he succeeded. So great. All right. I want to see you in a different situation now because you don't want him to become one-dimensional. And maybe this is a role where he can actually play a CDM role, which he's most comfortable with. So if he can get regular playing time at Portsmouth, fair play to him, because he potentially wasn't going to get it at Atlanta United, depending on how Escobar goes.
True. I mean,
wish he could have gone to like a championship side or something.
Well,
like at least a level down from the Premier League, and then
maybe this will give him a chance where he can be the man.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I mean, that's
regular starter.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like big news for them, so it seems like the onus is on him.
I mean, not that. Despite what I've said, it's not going to be a cakewalk for him. I mean, the leagues below the Premier League are dogfights. Guys are going to be all over you, so it's going to be a real test for him, I think.
Yeah, I agree, but at the same time, I'm just having a hard time swallowing this pill because he fit with our team. He had great chemistry, it seemed like, with this team. He was obviously up for grabs on a loan move again. I mean, what's to keep us from going and grabbing him?
I don't think it's I really don't think this hair.
Do you think it had to do with the Escobar? Like, do you think that they had Escobar in their sights and were gunning after him? And
I think it was similar to what with Assad is, because he wasn't gonna be promised a starting role, right. and therefore he needs to go to a team where he can have that starting role and develop. Because I mean, that's ultimately what the guys are trying to do.
Well, what's his natural position is it's either center back or central defensive midfielder, right?
Yeah. CDM, yeah.
Today seems like the perfect time to bring him back in. Right now. I mean, Carmona's gone.
Yeah, but he wouldn't. Yeah, but we've got Nagby and we've got Jeff.
Yeah, we have Jeff, who's going to be looking to come off the bench more.
Yeah, he wouldn't be starting though. I think that's what.
Yeah,
right. He did that.
They want him to make sure he's guaranteed first team minutes.
Especially whenever you consider what he went through last season, right? Like he came in, he wasn't starting, he earned a starting position, and then they're going to pick him up just to put him back on the bench to maybe come in as relief periodically throughout the season. I don't pull that deal either. Know.
I honestly think we don't see what happens at training. We don't know where Lorenowitz is at right now with his durability, and
probably in the bar, just fucking screaming down shots because he's the man.
Sam
and then he's going to get up at 5 and do training.
He's getting Sam Jones
tattoos. Chain restaurants down in Orlando.
yeah,
getting hammered,
getting into fights.
So, but I don't know. You really don't know what Lorenowitz's situation is like right now, and whether or not Anton Walkes could compete for a starting position alongside Nagby. But I guess, according to Matthew Winokur, who apparently follows League One soccer, he's saying that Matt Clark and Christian Burgess are in his way at center back at Portsmouth, unless he's going to be playing right back. So it's not like he is. It sounds like he's not even going to be starting at Portsmouth to start off with.
Well, he said unless he starts at right back, right? Well, he just had a whole season of starting at right back. There's no reason why he can't.
But he looked like a center back playing right back.
Whoa! I'm glad you caught that. That was really close, Tim.
You're being ridiculous. So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
It's heartbreaking though.
I agree.
But we're gonna have these heartbreaks over the years as we get, close to players, and they just become.
Again, don't buy a name jersey. Just don't do it. Save the money.
I bought a Tito shirt. I think it's gonna be all right. I think
nope. Just breaking news. Pew 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 pew
pew. Oh dear God, where do we go from here, guys? Nashville.
Oh yeah, that is where we're logically going to next. So you going up to the game?
Yeah, actually, Dukes and Bell was talking about today on the show that we are 99 is doing a live broadcast in Nashville on Friday at the Tailgate Brewery in Music Row. So we're doing a live broadcast from 1 to 6 Central Time. So
that's awesome.
If you're going to the game, anybody up there Friday, then come up. We're gonna have some special guests and some giveaways. So
man,
it's gonna be a good old time and get everybody ready for the game.
That's awesome. What are you guys doing? Anything Saturday before the game?
Other than probably getting to the stadium, and we might do a little bit with pregame stuff like that. But,
right
on. Jason and I might go live with some Facebook Live and stuff like that.
Very cool. So, yeah, nice. Dan, have you decided? Are you going to be able to make it or not?
So we can talk off air about the times. I'm going to try and get there.
Okay,
and see what I can do.
We're going to go up early and then come back after the game to answer your question. We are going to have a pregame party at Prince's Hot Chicken. You heard it here. Ooh. We're sticking to that. It's going to be the Home Before Dark exclusive meetup. We'll tweet out the time in the coming weeks. It'll just depend on what time we can get on the road, really, but that's going to be our first stop.
Talking about 2 hours standing it's not going to be in the heat, but 2 hours standing during a soccer game, during an Atlanta United game with just fire stomach.
Ooh-wee, boy. That's not even counting the liquor.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know what. I'll find something else to put on top of it.
Some coffee.
Yeah, put coffee.
Oh.
Do you know if there is anywhere to watch or listen to the game live?
Watch, I do not know. I remember last year Chattanooga did a live stream, but I might be up to Nashville to do something. I'm not quite sure on that kind of rights, but
you guys will be doing a radio broadcast, right?
Yeah, we'll have some news later in the week, I believe, to announce some stuff like that. So
yeah.
Cool. As always, bringing great content and accessibility to the Atlanta faithful.
So what are you looking forward to so far going into preseason and moving into the regular season?
I'm just interested to know about kind of what Jason Longshore was talking about today on Dukes and Bell was the chemistry this year now with year 2 on a top. It's not kind of new system the guys are learning. It's now year 2 of the system, and I mean we upgraded with Barco and Nagby, and now the Carmona. I'm interested in the Carmona thing, to be honest, and seeing how if we do a 3-4-3, or do we stick to maybe the 4-2-3-1, or I'm wondering about a couple players. But I'm excited. I think we should be up in the top 3 in the East. I mean, top 2. I mean, we should be threatening. I mean, if it's Toronto's 1, obviously, but I think we're 1A, to be honest. And expectations should be high. It should be a trophy. We should be gunning for that this year.
Absolutely.
Damn right.
That's what I like to hear. This time last year, well, we hadn't started recording yet, but around this time last year, I said it was a playoff team or a bust.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just keep harping on it, Tim. You were right. Okay. We got it.
No, but seriously,
it's going to be 8 years from now. Remember the inaugural season? I said it was a playoff team or bust.
And all you guys do listen to me.
That's true. You guys didn't listen to me. I'm going to get like a really high rocking horse. Just look down on you guys from it. So the expectations, what are they at this point? You're saying top 3? That's your expectation. What do you think the expectation should be placed on this team, knowing our success in an initial year and knowing we did upgrade in a couple positions and that we do have a year of chemistry under our belt that we're building on? And to your, I don't know, to your point, top 3, is that expectation? Or
that's for me, that's expectation.
What about postseason run? I mean,
we need to. I want us to get that top 2 so we don't have to do that knockout round again.
Was it the 6th year of Matty Ice? Was that what it was? It was like it was. We finally got the monkey off our back. We need to get that off of our back in the second season. Just go ahead and get it out of the way. I think we need to win a playoff game.
We do.
More than standings, I think we need to win a playoff game.
Right.
I think that's the expectation. We get into at least the second round of the playoffs.
I don't know. I think semis is the minimum I'll accept.
All right. I'm saying cup or bust. This is a cup or bust team.
So would you be okay with just open cup?
No. What cup is your bust? Is that what you're saying?
Solid C.
Solid C.
Solid C.
Solid D. I mean.
John Pata says expectation number 1, get at least 1 point out of DC.
That's just dreaming. That is not happening.
Hey, they're coming to our home twice this year, right?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't. They're going to be playing up in Audi Field.
I think we should do that.
I can't believe we dropped. What was that? 9 points to them last year.
Yep.
9 points.
9 points.
We couldn't even grab 1 point.
They haven't played the Dens yet, so I have hope.
Third time's a charm, but no.
Yeah. What about you guys? Expectations? Kevin? What's your expectation for this year? What is reasonable looking at last year's success?
I'd like that idea of going at least getting into the second round of playoffs. I think that's a reasonable expectation. I guess the follow up to that is because we're looking at this with the lineup that we have now and without all the drama that will undoubtedly unfold as the season goes on. When does that perception start to shift if you start seeing players like Almiron get traded? Or, what's your limitation to that, to when you go, oh, maybe this isn't second round or bust, whenever you lose 2 or 3 starters that were really anchoring that team? It's easy to say that now because everybody's intact. Because there was a couple weeks there last year where Martinez was out, and it was like, God, this team is still kind of struggling to find its footing, and we're kind of trying to hold the tide back to say, don't panic yet. But I think all of us were still kind of like, oh, when's he going to come back? When are they going to find their footing? Are they going to be able to sort of weather the storm? And
such a long layoff, wasn't it?
But we did, and so the question is, are we built to do that again if we lose 2? 1, 2, 3. What's that breaking point to where those expectations change is a more interesting conversation for me.
Well, yeah. I mean, this year, we were built to win. I mean, this year, next year, Almiron's gone. to be honest.
Yeah.
Almiron. I mean,
because we don't see this happening with Toronto right now. Like Toronto doesn't have a team that you're saying, okay, Javinko is probably going to be gone this year,
right.
or Josie's gone this year.
Right.
Their main anchors. You don't really see them potentially.
So that's the thing that I have with Toronto. I feel like they're at their ceiling.
Right.
Is that a fair statement, or do you think that's
no? I think
definitely they're selling. Yeah, definitely they're selling.
I
think
mean,
that's a fair statement.
So, and I feel like we don't have a ceiling right now. Plus, because I'm a hugely biased Atlanta United fan, but I feel like if we lose 3 starters, that could be the fulcrum to which our season could collapse to.
William McClaney has a really good point, though. The dynamic that Atlanta United 2 brings to this season, and the ability to bring players up and have them play and actively stay warm and develop on a week-to-week basis, definitely helps to develop that depth that we were missing so much last year.
No, I mean, it's crucial. I mean, to have USL and have Carlton and Gosselin and all these players get minutes as professional, and then you can see, and people will be able to go to the games and see, all right, Carlton scores 5 goals and 5 assists in 3 games. Dude's ready.
Yeah,
he's ready to come up. So now, I mean, it's a good measuring stick of people to go up and see how they're doing, and I think that's great for the USL. That's another key area there for the team.
Absolutely,
an organization.
We got Dan over there playing his best version of Tata Martino, writing out his squad list. You need a couple more sheets of paper though, probably, Dan, to work that out.
Get the full phallic formation lined up.
The phallic formation.
Exactly. Yeah, what I was saying earlier is just that. I mean, with this year, I mean, with Barco as his reputation and how he played down in South America, I mean, dude is not going to be phased in this league.
No.
Dude's taking penalties in a final, nailing it. I mean, dude can play. And with Almiron, I mean, with Martinez second year, I mean, Tito. I'm expecting big things from him. I think he is going to be having a big year this year.
I fully expect Tito to have a huge year. I think Joseph stays the course. It'll be interesting to see the Barco transition, because we saw that with Assad. You look at the first 5 games of the season for Assad compared to the last 5 games of the season for Assad, and it was a completely different player on the pitch. I mean, the way he approached the ball, the way he approached defending, all of that completely changed throughout the course of the season. He got more aggressive. He started playing. I mean, you saw the dynamic between him and Garza start to pick up more and get more consistent. So it'll be interesting. And I think I fully expect to see a similar path, I guess, for Barco, where he is going to have to develop that chemistry with Garza on the wing, just because that's the way Tata wants to see that position played. And then what I mentioned to Jason last week, how does him wanting to play a 10 role sort of clash or meld with Almiron in the 10 spot? All of these dynamics, not to mention just his familiarity with the officiating and the league and all that. Yeah. I mean, I have no question about his ability to withstand the pressure of playing in the league. I think he's ready for that.
More just adaptation.
Yeah, I want to see how that starts to develop.
All right, I've got a question. I've got this to pose to you guys. How would you feel with this lineup coming out for a couple of weeks in the main regular season? Cannon goal.
Yes.
I'm listening.
McCann, LGP, Parkhurst, Escobar. In the defensive mid, Kratz and Jeff. Gressel at number 10. On the right, Tito. On the left, Colton. Up top, Williams.
I honestly think that's a 6 seed.
Right. That's what
Escobar's used to playing center, right?
What I'm saying is
he's trying to point out the amount of depth that we have on this team and different formations.
Exactly.
And different,
no, I get that.
The viability of our bench.
I get that. But Escobar's typically a right back, right? Or a center back, right?
He's right back. He's a ball playing center back who also can play right back.
I think we picked him up for right back.
And probably to slot in whenever Parkhurst.
I know he's going to be playing right back, but what I'm wondering is, I'm wondering if there's any positioning for him almost in Jeff's role, and then pulling Jeff back and shifting Parkhurst over or something.
I think there's always a place in central defensive mid for a ball playing center back.
I agree.
A la David Luiz.
Agreed.
Right. Or probably more the opposite with Matic going back and playing defense for Manchester United. But yeah,
but still, that's
Yeah, that's a hell
not
of a
bad.
bench. Yeah,
No,
that's
it's
a hell of a
definitely
bench.
not. It's definitely not.
And the only guy on that team that I foresee that you put out there that would be playing over in Gwinnett would be Carlton.
You're so bad at this game, Dan.
He's crossing out Kevin Kratz and putting Oliver Shannon.
I'm looking forward to seeing what Williams does in the preseason. I'm really intrigued by him.
So that was
actually, he would be over Jeff because that would be a substitute.
Why don't you just put him at striker?
Oh, I like that idea.
So we got off of the Nashville subject before I wanted to, I guess.
Sorry, Tim.
We're running close on time. It's up to you guys. I'm night owl anyway. But the players that you expect to see, who do you guys not expect to see going into Nashville? Is there anybody you're expecting to really for them to showcase or try and get game time? Is that what you expect out of the Nashville game, or do you expect them to try and get the legs back under the players?
Yeah, I think they'll get 20, 30-minute runouts, like maybe the starters, and then maybe a more time for like the Williams and the Carltons. I want to see what they got.
I absolutely
think Barco's going to start?
No.
Has he touched down finally?
I think tomorrow he's supposed to maybe be in Orlando.
The guys just got to Orlando today, didn't they?
Yes.
I saw some pictures of him.
I
getting
don't
off
think
the
we
bus.
see him that quick.
I think he'll play, but I don't think
he'll start. Yeah.
Who, Barco? Yeah. What are they doing down in Orlando right now?
Training.
Yeah. And Barco's been confirmed to go down to Orlando. I saw that on Twitter earlier. So
okay,
yeah,
so he's got his
gonna,
visa situation all sorted out. We're good to go.
Yeah,
that's
as a sub. News. A bunch of Atlanta United supporters invade that stadium, erupt,
throwing batteries.
Joe Patrick says he's our man on the inside, saying there's footage of him at the airport right now.
Oh wow!
Ooh,
okay, that's awesome to hear. So Carlton and Romario Williams are the two guys I really want to see playing against Nashville. I don't know if Brandon Vasquez is back fully fit. I
think he is. He's training.
I thought I saw him in training. I'd like to see how he's responding to.
So do red cards roll over from preseason to regular season? That's the real question.
It's just never going to end.
Just go back to your EPL.
Yeah, Victor Meme, new listener on here, new viewer, at least in the chat, saying he's at the airport right now. Yeah. So I don't know. Brandon Vasquez had a bad hamstring injury. I want to see how much that's curtailed his development.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's not in my mind. There's a weird seam on those practice kits that they've been.
Oh yeah, yeah. The one that Jay posted earlier.
Yeah, I don't know why there's that belly stitch that's on there. I don't know. Who do you expect to see, or who do you want to see in Nashville?
I think those are the main two guys. I really want to see Brandon Vasquez, see how he bounces back.
I think it's really exciting to be at that preseason game because, unlike Tata's regular season strategy, I think we'll see substitutions either, if not at the end of the first, but at the very start of the second.
We're gonna get. You remember? Was this junior year? Was this 04 or 05? Whenever we were playing high school, where coach tried to do full-fledged like hockey line changes during preseason. Do you remember that? We were playing against Crestwood.
You were playing you were in high school in 2005?
I graduated in 2005, yeah.
Fuck, I'm so old.
Yeah. You definitely look it.
And Kevin,
thanks, Kevin.
Kevin was a year behind. No, you think we'll see that? Because you can't reintroduce players, but see a full-fledged line change.
Can you? You can't do that. Does the 3 substitutions not hold in preseason?
No.
Really?
Exhibition games, you can sub in
and out.
You
can do it. You can put a whole new 11 on there.
How did I not know that?
Yeah.
Probably you've been watching too much EPL.
That's definitely
EPL Euro snob.
It's beneath me.
I did. Speaking of the kids, we were at the team store on, what was that, Saturday?
Yes.
Picked up a Lego thing that I opened up and I said, nope, not doing this.
Nope.
It's like 830 pieces just to make the logo. It's up there, but
got the box
tiny.
But that box though,
my fingers are too fat for that. Anyway, the girl working the store was talking about how
more news. Pew 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 pew.
And I might be outing her. I don't know her name or anything. She mentioned to us that, oh yeah, we're going to be getting all new gear in the next month. What?
And that's what Tim was like. So they should be getting their peach kits in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope so.
Which that makes sense. I mean, it's got to be in before the season starts, and a month would be the start of the season.
The leaked image of the kit I saw, I really like it.
The peach kit?
Yeah, the white with the orange.
Yeah, I think I've beaten it to the ground. I just don't think it's different enough from last
I really
year's.
want one of those all black practice kits. I really like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like the orange one too. And I want my Clemson orange.
I'm going to get an orange
scarf.
Barco one.
Yeah. I'll get an orange. Oh, I will get a name jersey for Oliver Shannon. If it's all orange.
we absolutely should.
Yeah, I absolutely will.
Most important question of the night, posed by Jay Riddle as usual in the live chat. He said, "Since when do y'all wear pants during the broadcast or the podcast?"
Well, he can't see my half of the table, so
yeah, that's very true. There's an underwear.
So my wife started watching the podcast, Jay. That's why I have to wear pants now.
See, I can't
stick around for After Dark.
After Dark. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
No, I think we have destroyed this show completely.
Yeah, we're on. We're coming up on time. We're past time.
Can I ask you, Jimmy? I want to ask you a question.
Stop touching him.
I can't help it.
Personal space.
Can I just? How even his beard color is very impressive.
It is.
But I wanted to ask you, what was your favorite moment of last year, from your perspective?
It was the Vajalba's equalizer at Bobby Dodd. That was my favorite.
You were there, obviously.
Because I was there. It was before I really started working game days. Mm-hmm. So I was there as a fan, and I sat maybe 3 or 4 rows below the Orlando fans. And they went 1-0 up, Kaká, that's giving it to us. Just taunting and everything. And then once Tito scored that equalizer, just like I ran up a couple flight stairs, just like pumping fists, just like beers thrown at me. But
is that when they started tearing the chairs out?
Yeah, and they started us to arrest. And then it was just funny because my cousins. My cousin Mark, he lives in Orlando. He's an Orlando fan, so I brought him with me. So he's really cool. But and his wife, when they all got arrested, his wife's an Orlando fan, and his wife, like, there was a line of them arrested, and she just goes, "Shame on you, shame on you." So great. I mean, to go out of Bobby Dodd in a last minute equalizer. You can't beat that. That was one of the best moments last year.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Good job.
All right. So thanks for checking us out, guys. Jimmy, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
So I know you got a long laundry list of places they can find you and shows they can find you on. Why don't you let them know where to find you?
Yeah, I'm at ATL Soccer 929 and also follow at 929 The Game. And do Stoppage Time on Facebook Live with Jason Longshore. So that's every Wednesday. We usually do it around 1:30, sometimes 12:30, but we do that. And Off the Woodwork podcast, also Jared Smith, CCV, and follow Off the Woodwork on the podcast. And I put all of the interviews for Atlanta United, anything like with Darren Eales, Carlos Bocanegra, any of the hits that Jason Longshore does. Like, it's all really great content, and we're really looking forward to doing more this year. So we've got a bunch of cool plans in store. So just keep on following me and on Twitter, and you'll see those updates in the next week or so.
Yeah, see, awesome. That's the downside of this new wave of things coming on board is you've got people like you guys and us that have kind of got our footing, mouths of the South. Everybody, soccer down here, everybody's kind of got their bearings now, and we're kind of ramping up to make it a little bit bigger and a little bit better. I know we are, you guys are. Now this new wave, you got that much higher standard to hold yourselves accountable to. So
you're gonna have to start broadcasting in HD.
Yeah, exactly. So that said, thanks for you guys' support. You can find the 3 of us on Twitter as well. Tim, where can they find you at?
You can find me at Tim Herb.
And Dan, what about you?
You can find me at DNJMS.
You can find me at The Architect. That's at _ARC. Number 1, TECT. Collectively at Home Before Dark. That's before spelled B. And then number 4, leave us a review or rating on iTunes, a review to hear it read aloud on the show, no matter what it may say. Yeah, Princess Hot Chicken before the Nashville game. We got one more show before that game next Monday at 9 p.m. with Joe Patrick. So be sure to check him out on Twitter. Do you know his handle offhand?
You're putting me on the spot.
J Patrick 200.
Was it? That was really.
It's JA Patrick 200. That's correct.
Yeah,
you can find all of his stylings at dirtysouthsoccer.com.
And also, sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I've got a totally different thing.
No, I was just going to say, and they just put up their HDAD him and Sam Jones.
Episode 1,
highly distributed audio discussion.
The next wave. The next wave.
Yeah, it's a preview show that they just put up.
Be sure to check those guys out.
Random gift for you all. YouTube Elvana. They are a British Nirvana cover band whose lead singer is an Elvis impersonator, and they are fan-fucking-tastic. Go check out their heart-shaped box cover. Brilliant.
Oh, also, if you want to play Fortnite, and the second podcast that I'll be soon starting, in which I play Fortnite and talk about Fortnite, you can find me on Xbox Live at The Architect. That's just no underscore, but same way as Twitter. It's so fun.
Yeah, you're ridiculous. Shout out to Nick Pugnal, all the way watching us in Sydney, Australia.
Oh, nice.
The starter of Sydney SG.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to end this thing. We're going to turn into pumpkins. So thanks for checking us out. We'll see you next week. As always, be home before dark.
Bye.